Hi, today is April 5th, 2026, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 525 for the year, Photograph of a Photograph. Shortly after King Missile got signed to Atlantic, we went out to support our new album, which came out very soon after we were signed. In fact, it was so soon after that the label hadn't made promotional photos of us yet. But there were fans, and they wanted signed photos. Fortunately, at one of those shows, there were a bunch of photos of David Bowie and Adrien Belew, so I signed some and gave those out instead, including one to a guy named David Talento, who recently sent me a photograph of the photograph. I don't remember doing this, but I'm very glad I did, and I'm glad that David Talento remembered. Poem number 526. It doesn't look like this is the end. It doesn't look like this is the end. A lot of people will say it looks like this is the end, either because it looks to them like this is the end or because they like to over-dramatize. But this doesn't look like the end of anything to me. Maybe I'm under-dramatizing, but this doesn't look anything like the end to me. I suppose if you were to tell me it looks like the end, I might rethink, or I might conclude that you're over-dramatizing, but from where I sit with my eyes closed and my head in the sand, it doesn't look like this is the end to me. Poem number 527, She Took Things. She took things with a pinch of salt, and a pinch of sugar, and the peel of an orange, and the squeeze of a lemon, and a hint of lime, and a whisper of vermouth, and a couple of gallons of vodka, and generally speaking, people thought that except for all the vodka, she took things rather well. Poem number 528, The Best. It is so fast that it seems to be everywhere all at once. It is so big that everything else seems to be a part of it. It is so loud it seems as if it is the only thing that makes a sound. It flies and sings and swims and walks and talks and goes bowling and does its taxes and keeps mostly to itself, and people really ought to just cut it some slack because it is doing the best that it can. Poem number 529, The Lovely Couple. They were a lovely couple. She was a medical procedure and he was a dance routine. She had saved many thousands of lives as an innovative solution to arterial thrombosis. He had entertained many thousands as a masterful approach to Swan Lake. Although they never went out dancing and they never performed surgery together, they were as closely knit and as deeply in love as you could ever want a couple to be. In fact, if they were any closer or deeper, it might be vomit-inducing. Poem number 530, The Corporation. After all of the amalgamation, the corporation no longer felt like itself. All of the acquisitions and divestitures and spin-offs and holding companies and reverse triangular mergers and the rest of the transactions had finally taken their toll, and the corporation was worn out and disheveled and more than a little depressed. Fortunately, private equity swooped in, and after a leveraged buyout, the corporation was sold for parts. Its workers were laid off, its board of directors was fired, and the corporation itself was dissolved. And the next time you have a glass of water, you may be drinking the very water that the corporation had been dissolved into. And if so, I bet it will be very refreshing. And the last poem of the day, poem number 531, The Gardens That Cannot Be Helped. There is no tissue strong enough for the snot garden. There is no roll of toilet paper big enough for the shit garden. There is no toilet wide enough for the vomit garden to throw up into. These are the gardens that cannot be helped. All that can be done is to wait for harvest time, and after reaping these questionable bounties, we can hope that other crops are chosen for the next planting season. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.